So KK asked me a question. She tagged me in a video about the changes about the Postal Service and the postmark rule, the new postmark rule. And what does that mean for fundraisers and nonprofits? Primarily, this comes into play at calendar year end. So for many of our donors, they give at calendar year end because they are keeping track of their giving for tax purposes. And so if they give the rule is when we receive the gift, if it is postmarked December 31st or prior, even if we don't get it until like the 4th because it's after the New Year's holiday, we sort them into two buckets, right? So you have everything that was postmarked in 2025, let's take the most recent one as an example, and everything postmarked in 2026 is credited to this current tax year. So if they wanted credit for 2025, it has to be postmarked for 2025. And again, that usually only comes into play if they're giving in that last week and a half of the calendar year. Now, the new rule though is it used to be if you put it into a mailbox and it was picked up that day, it was going to be postmarked that day. If you put it into one of the boxes outside of the post office, that it would be postmarked same day. They were checking it every single day. That is now no longer the case. If you want to make sure that the postmark appears on a specific day, then you are going to need to go into the post office and get them to postmark it for you so that you are sure that that's basically they can kind of postmark it whenever they get around to it, is my impression. And sometimes you need it postmarked on a particular day. So this is really just an effort of educating our donors around this. The other time that I could see this popping up is when you have a grant application. So I've applied for grants before where they require you to physically send something in. And in order to meet their deadlines, you have to have it postmarked by a certain date. So I would recommend, again, not just dropping it off at the post office, but going into the post office and ensuring that it is postmarked on that day. The other thing that you can do to work around that is to just get it certified mail return receipt, because that's going to allow you to be sure that it's getting completely postmarked by that deadline. So essentially, when you get into calendar year end, you need to be educating and messaging to your donors that if you're going to send in a check and you want credit for the 2026 tax year, when we get around to that they need to go into the post office and get it postmarked just to be sure. So those are the two situations where I see it overlapping with nonprofit fundraising, and hope that answers your question. Thanks for tagging me.